Welcome back to the Whiskey Couch with me, Gustav Miller, your host. And today's whiskey is the second one in a short series of Irish whiskies that I'm reviewing. I've already reviewed the Teeling small batch Irish whiskey. So today I'm looking at the Teeling Single Grain whiskey, and then tomorrow we're going to have a look at the Teeling Single Malt, but this particular Brabazon series number 2. Looking forward to doing that one. This whiskey, Teeling Single Grain, comes from the Teeling Distillery in Dublin, Ireland, founded in 2015, only 2 years ago. The interesting part is that the Teeling family has been in the whiskey distilling business since around 1782, and the previous distillery that they owned was the Cooley Distillery, which they then sold to Beam. But they kept some of the whiskey stock from that Cooley Distillery, and they're using that stock for their current bottlings until they have stock from this new Teeling Distillery that they started in Dublin. It was the first new distillery in 125 years in Dublin. So interesting story behind the Teeling whiskies, and I'm looking forward to see what else is going to come from that distillery. So today, the single grain whiskey from Teeling. It's a corn-based whiskey, and at the recent World Whiskey Awards, they got the award for the world's best grain whiskey, which is quite an award, bottled at 46%. But there's another interesting thing about this whiskey. The website and all the literature says that it was fully matured in red wine casks, red wine barrels from California. Apparently Cabernet Sauvignon red wine barrels, but on the label it says here a further 6 months maturation in Ex Rum Casks in the fine print right here, which is very interesting to me. I don't think you can read it there. It's very fine printed, but that's what it says here. So that is a little bit confusing. I'm going to go with what the website says and what all the literature says, that it was matured in red wine cask, something that I would not have expected for a single grain. So something interesting on the way here. Let's see what we get. Deep gold color, the grain, corn sweetness from the corn whiskey is in your nose right from the beginning. But you can pick up that there's something else going on. And it comes from those red wine barrels from California. There's a redness, there's a red grape coming through. Almost like grape jam, but it mingles with the corn, like grape jam on warm corn bread. That's what's going on. But also citrus and raisins and some other fruit. Very complex nose, very interesting whiskey, this one. Wow! You're expecting only the corn sweetness, because I'm used to single grains matured at ex-bourbon casks. But the red wine barrel influence makes it so interesting and unique. On the palate there's the corn syrup, but again the grape jam on the warm corn bread. It's coming through from the nose straight through to the palate. It's fresh, it's youthful, it's only 5 years old, I think. So the freshness because of its youth is there, but the complexity and the smoothness and creaminess is astounding. Sweet spice, berries, some banana, vanilla and dark chocolate, and also the citrus becomes a citrus marmalade at the end. The finish is dryish with some wood spice, lingering sweetness, and the dark chocolate and that grape. Very, very interesting. This can become my favorite single grain, without a doubt. My favorite single grain whiskey might be this one. Added a few drops of water to see if it loosens up some more aromas and flavors. There's more corn syrup with that red grape skin. It just gets better and better and better, even smoother. Cost-wise, not bad at all. 700 Rand in South Africa, around 43 pounds in the UK. Now, if you want to pair this with a food snack, I am going to try and connect with the citrus that I'm getting here, but also with the dark chocolate that comes from those red wine barrels. So I've got a small Jaffa cake with a dark chocolate coating, and in the middle there is a orange center. I've got a suspicion that this is going to pair well with this whiskey. Very soft cake with the orange in the center and the thin dark chocolate coating. Can't get better than this. 4.5 out of 5 for me, this whiskey and food pairing right here. Definitely. Thank you for watching. This was fun. And I look forward to see you again tomorrow, because more whiskey tasting, whiskey pairings, whiskey and food pairings, and whiskey reviews to come. Sláinte.